How do you say it? Salamat?
Yes, salamat.
Salamat.
Makasih.
You speak Spanish?
Gracias.
Gracias.
Only, I know.
Corpo de Polícia de Segurança Pública. It's like in Portuguese. But if you know, here, like they don't even speak Portuguese. Like they just speak Chinese. If you look at this doesn't look like China at all. It looks really Europe. Ooh, beautiful. Santa Casa de Misericordia. Hello, ni hao. We just arrived in Hong Kong. The flight is around like 3 hours, maybe more or less. Actually, it's really cheap from Bangkok to Hong Kong. It cost me only like $60, $70. It's crazy like how cheap is it from Bangkok to Hong Kong. I mean, from my city, from Indonesia. I don't know if it's cheap as well, but at least from my city, it costs more. And we're going to Macau directly. So if you don't know, Macau, they speak Portuguese. Just a little percentage of people, especially like the old people. But apart from that, the young people, as far from what I hear, they don't speak Portuguese at all. Maybe just some words. So let's see how Portuguese mixed with Chinese. So now we're waiting for the bus to the Hong Kong port. So it's written like the Macau. There's like a kind of like a taxi, or maybe like I would say like a taxi to Macau, but it's really expensive. It costs you around like 290 Hong Kong dollars. That would be around like $30 more or less. But there's another like a cheap option, which is like you need to go to the B4, which is this. You go to the Hong Kong port. So this is like the bus stop. It costs around like $10 to go to the Hong Kong port, and then after that it costs around like 60 or 65 to go to Macau. If you want to go to Macau directly, don't wait at the bus ticket because they only sell around the Hong Kong. Just go here directly. We're going to Macau. Wow, Hong Kong. Like I've been to Hong Kong around like 6 years ago before the pandemic. But look at those apartments, look at those buildings. Wow. Bem-vindo a Macau. If you look at it, there's like the Chinese and the Portuguese. Corpo de Polícia de Segurança Pública. It's like in Portuguese. But if you know, here, like they don't even speak Portuguese. Like they just speak Chinese. Like just a little percentage of the people that still speak Portuguese, and most of them are old people. Everything in Portuguese. I feel like in Brazil, man. Wow. I think this is like the only country that's the official language is Portuguese, but no one speaks Portuguese. Everything is Portuguese. It's amazing. Wow. So basically everything is written in Portuguese. Establecimiento de comidas campoina. But just that's it. They say like there are two places where you can find the Portuguese speaker here. The first one is the Circle K in the Ocean Garden. And the second one is a bar. It's called Ometv Tavern. So let's go there. Old Macau looks like Europe, Portugal. And it's really amazing the amount of the jewelry shop. Jewelry, gold, everything, they have it. Like, look, another one. It's like every 2 or 3 shops, there's like always a jewelry. And the pharmacy as well. I don't know how many pharmacies I've seen, but I'm sure that it's tons of it. Another pharmacy. Wow, this street looks beautiful. Love it. So now I'm already in the hotel. It's called the S Hotel Macau. The weird thing is, I asked them, they speak Portuguese, even in Chinese, and they're like, they're like confused. I mean, they don't even know what's that. Maybe like my Chinese wasn't really that good, the pronunciation, and I needed to show it with the Google Translate, even in Cantonese, you know. And they're like, no, they don't even know what's like Portuguese. It's crazy. Like everything, almost everything is like written in Portuguese, but for them it's kind of like, I don't know what's that. It just exists. It's crazy. So basically in Macau you still need to speak Chinese. Not a lot of people that speak English. Praça de Ponte Alta. Can they read it? The road is really small. I feel kind of like in the Sleeping Dog games. Never played, but it has the same vibes. So basically a lot of Philippines here. Look, Philippines, Pearl of the Orient. I read it on the internet. It says like a lot of the immigrants, kind of like people who work here, like in the restaurant or with the cafe. Most of them are Philippines, like a lot of them. Even like this word, it comes from the Spanish. I mean, in Spanish it's called like tienda, and here call it tinda. So it's quite similar. Market, tienda, tinda. That's one new word that I found really similar between Spanish and Philippines, Tagalog. Wow, if you look at this doesn't look like China at all. It looks really Europe. Ooh, beautiful. Santa Casa de Misericordia. So as you can see, Portugal, when they colonized the Macau, or maybe let's say like most of the places, when the Portugal came and colonized like the hill, like high places. You see like Macau, that's up there, and this kind of like a hill. It's kind of like going up. Also in Brazil, like if you see as favelas. So the logic is when they colonized back then, they always look for the upper ground. So when they got it up there, they can observe everything from up there.
What is this?
It's pork.
Pork.
You can eat pork?
Yes.
Where are you from?
Indonesia. Where are you from?
You can eat pork?
Yes. Where are you from?
From Philippines.
Philippines.
Yeah, you can buy $7 100 here.
A lot of Philippines.
Yes.
Thank you. Just taste.
How do you say it? Salamat?
Yes, salamat.
Salamat.
Makasih.
You speak Spanish?
Gracias.
Gracias.
Only, I know. Not yet.
So apparently here the people culture to eat bread.
Like this girl, she buys a lot of bread. So basically they have like the culture to eat bread, because when I went to China, I didn't see any bakery. No, maximum is kind of like a cake where they sell cake, but here there are like tons of bread. Look, a lot of type of bread. Oh, Portuguese egg tart, pastel de nata. Macau, being one of the Las Vegas country in the world, which is like the main gambling country in the world, what is the downside of Macau? So the downside of Macau is like the gambling addict. Here in Macau in 2023, they got like the problem around like 0.9% of the adult who have problem with the gambling addict, but that's already lower, because in 10 years ago in 2013 the gambling addict was around 0.9 and the problematical gambling addict is around like 1.5%. But the problem is not end with that. The university student and the college student have a gambling addict around 2.5 and the 5.3%. So because the main revenue of Macau is gambling, which is 50%, and even the government revenue 80% is from gambling. There's kind of like a polemic things, because the revenue that they got, they use it for the bus, they use it for the people who live here. Everything works, but they got it from the gambling. So I would say like that's kind of like the polemic, because of course like a lot of people get into a trouble when they gamble, especially they who cannot control themselves. I don't know if it's good or bad. But yeah, I mean, look at that. There's a big band as well.
I swear that how the announcement works in Macau, it's really weird. I don't know why it's like that. I mean, now that's written in Chinese, but after that they have another one which is in Portuguese, like that. I mean, these guys, they don't even speak English. Some part of them, they speak English. I mean, I guess people who works in the casino, or maybe they live in the new Macau. But here in the old Macau, they don't even speak English. It's hard to speak English here, and let alone Portuguese. Why it's even in Portuguese? Like, they don't even know how to speak Portuguese. Why? Just like, that's my question, like, why? And also like this. Não cuspa para o chão. Can they understand that? Cuspir para o chão num espaço público é sujeito a uma multa de 600 patacas. I don't know how it works here, but it's really weird. I don't think they can even read that. But yeah, Macau, man. Welcome to Macau.
Even like the money, it's written in Portuguese. Banco Nacional Ultramarino, Regulamento Administrativo número 30/2011, de 5 de setembro, Macau, janeiro de 2015. It's written in Portuguese. No one speaks Portuguese.
So I've been at New Macau, but the old part of the New Macau, which is very beautiful. Wow, look at this. It's kind of like really interesting and really beautiful to see the mix between the temple, Tam Kung, Tin Hao, Sam Seng, and then Igreja. There's a church as well. So here in Macau, especially the new Macau, if you want to go like the old Macau and new Macau, you can get a free shuttle actually. Like this Galaxy Macau, which is in the new Macau. It's huge. And then the old Macau is, you're going to be dropped in the Star World, which is in the old Macau. So it's great, like instead of taking like the public bus where you need to pay around like 6 Hong Kong dollars or 6 Macau pataka, you can take this. But yeah, they're going to drop you in the Star World Hotel, which is like the east side of the old Macau. But still, it's free, so why not? It's a very complete services. You can go at basically like the ferry terminal. You can also go to, they can drop you in the airport, which is also free. So everything is a really perfect services. This is very interesting. Look at this apartment. I mean, it's not really that bad, but quite like well maintained. And then in front of it, boom, the biggest hotel casino in the old Macau. Look at the view. And look at that building. So it's crazy, like those part is like Europe and this part like the Chinese. The tourists, the local. It just crossing the street.